If we could do what we wanted to do and make a living of it, what would you do? I ask myself that question because the question is not if we could do what we wanted to do and make a living. It's why don't you do what you want to do and then make a living? It's possible, clearly, because there are thousands and thousands of people just in this country alone, in Georgia alone, that you see every day doing it. By society's terms, being very successful, doing something they love to do, enjoy doing, and making good money, more money than we make. Most, not we, but me and people like me make going to work. Some people go to work and they love their job, don't get me wrong, but I think if I took a poll right now of all these people sitting in the traffic with me and asked them the question, they would say something different than going to whatever this job is that we're going to. I've been around for a minute, as far as been on this earth for a minute. In earthly numbers, in universal numbers, I'm just beat like that. But I've been learning a lot of things, and I never stop learning. It's like every time, like a cycle, life is like cycle 1, cycle 2, it's all different cycles. I'm always, it feels good. Sometimes it hurts, like growing pains, it hurts, but for the most part it does feel good. I've trained myself to feel good in this process. And when I say feel good, doesn't mean I don't cry, doesn't mean I don't hurt, doesn't mean I don't feel pain a lot of times, but I'm very, very thankful that I understand things the way that I do. A lot of the pain, I don't remember the details right now, but I'm going to talk. It's going to sound like I don't really know. Scatterbrain, but there was some philosopher, I think he was like Hindu or Buddhist or whatever, philosopher, that said, somebody might know, or was he like Aristotle or some shit? But I remember reading somewhere that one of the philosophies that of life is, it's painful. Like, the experience of the physical form is that of pain, of constant pain. I don't necessarily buy into that. I see where he was coming from, but I think that's the only reason human beings suffer the way they do is because of their ignorance. Religion, ignorance. Upbringing, sometimes based on religion, ignorance. Societal conditioning, following the Joneses, not understanding the true potential of your own humanness and what you're really, really capable of. So much. But it's nice, it's beautiful to me because I'm always learning. So I didn't go to sleep last night and get any sleep, which is why I'm sitting in traffic now, because I decided I wasn't going to get up and go to work. I called in, it's slow. I said, I'm going to sleep and rest and get up and go once my spirit says, okay, now get up and go. And I do that once in a while. I do self-care first, because one thing I've learned, money comes and goes, jobs come and go. If you're not doing something you absolutely love, I'm not the type of person that stresses shit. I don't stress money. I don't stress jobs. I don't stress bosses. I don't so-called supervisors. I don't stress that shit. Now, yeah, for the most part, I'm much more responsible than I have ever been in my life. But I'm still now more than ever responsible to myself and my health, first and foremost. So when I feel myself needing a break or me time, I take it. The suffering that I'm going to look it up, that this philosopher was talking about, the condition of being human is to suffer. Again, I disagree, but I can see exactly where he's coming from, because the only reason that I don't constantly suffer is because I detach myself. Let me say this is my opinion. No philosopher told me this. You might agree, you might disagree. One of the keys to being happy in life is being detached. When you get attached to something or someone that you will inevitably lose. If you're attached to your husband, one day he's gonna die. Or your wife, one day they're gonna die. It's like you're attached to your mother, they're gonna die. If you're attached to your dog, it's gonna die. Everything that you can physically in this world get attached to, God, your child might die, you might die. It's like nothing is permanent. Everything is, hey, you never know what's gonna happen. Like the gods are up there and we are in a casino, and we're just pieces on a poker table, like poker chips, and you might lose, you might win, depending on who's the puppeteer over you. But I've come to realize, with all the shit going on in my personal life, not my it's called my family, with everything that's going on, I look up of it, I go above it, and I look down and I go, this is interesting. Alright. And I don't do that every time immediately, but I've trained myself to, even when I start panicking or getting upset or slipping, to always come back to this neutral place of detachment and say, at the end of the day, this is all just some shit we going through. And sometimes I'll even be in a trance. I'll be in one of my states of deep meditation. And look at things and say, wow, I see a pattern here. It's not just stuff happening in my life. There's a pattern. Whoa, this is so deep. This is my karmic pattern. Being detached will save a lot of heartache. Being able to look at a situation or situations, even when it involves someone you love dearly, like your child, one of your children, or your parent, or your lover, or your husband. Being able to step out of your body and look at it from a distant mind and say, as Abraham said, this is a quote from Abraham, if I jump out the plane and I forget my parachute, what should I do? And she goes, don't worry, it'll all be over soon. And that's true. Don't worry. If you are on the path of self-destruction and you're falling out of a plane with no parachute, you're not going to suddenly sprout wings and fly. So just relax. When you hit the ground, it'll be over. You won't feel a damn thing. You won't even feel pain. And sometimes I look at life and I go, okay, so what? I get there when I get there. My deliveries will be made when they get made. And if they're in a hurry, they can get somebody else to make them till I get there. But my mental health right now is important, because I had a conversation last night, an emotional one, about my son, and it took everything out of me. I managed to finally fall asleep. I don't even think I dreamt. I did dream. I always dream. It's more of astral projection, but and the risk of sounding crazy myself, I won't talk too much about that kind of stuff that I go through, that I experience, because unless you experience certain spiritual things, you wouldn't understand, or you would attribute, if you were highly religious, indoctrinated into religion, you would interpret what I'm saying as something crazy or demonic, or when if you think about it, religious people, the Bible itself has a lot of crazy stories, but because you're conditioned to believe those stories and not other stories. Anyway, it's a bias that most people have in the world who adhere to any particular religion. So anyway, I just wanted to do, that's what I used to do this every morning. I used to call it my morning rant or evening rant. Like I just purge myself of thoughts and stuff, get it off my chest, and share shit with y'all, with the few people that pay attention to me. Thank you. Appreciate it. So much I would like to say, but to save yourself a lot of pain, think about sometimes detaching yourself, and not in a way that you're nasty to people or cold-hearted to people, or not in a way that you disrespect anybody or hurt anybody deliberately, but just when things are hurting you, try to remember it'll all be over soon. Sooner than later. Try to remember that we're not going to be here forever. You might live to be 101. I plan on being here till I'm 101. At least 100. But just try to remember, like, this is a finite life. We're not here for we don't know how long. I might not make it home this evening. Anything is possible. People die every day. That being said, take everything with a grain of salt. Even when you're upset and crying and lashing out or whatever it is you're going through, go through it, purge it, and then try not to cause too much chaos in the process. And then recall, say, you know what? All right, it's cool, it's cool. I'm still alive. I still got opportunity to move forward and experience good things instead of bad things. Make that choice. Just literally tell yourself, even when you slip, every moment is a moment for restarting. It doesn't matter how many times you fuck up. It does not matter how many times you fuck up. It doesn't matter how many times you break up. It doesn't. If you meet someone, you think you love them, you think they love you, it doesn't work out. 6 months later, a year later, some people sooner, some people hop right into another relationship. You meet someone, and just go with it. Okay, you know what? If he or she doesn't want to stick around, okay, what the fuck? What am I gonna do? Kill myself? No. Why would I want someone who doesn't want me to stick around any fucking way? I want somebody to be as fucking enthusiastic about me as I would be about them. I want someone to crave me. I love that word. Crave me as much as I crave them. And if not, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Done the struggle of, don't want it. Done the, I gotta guess what this motherfucker thinking love, don't want it. I've done the hot and cold, sometimes he want me, sometimes he's done. I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not fun. That's not good. I don't want that. I want, and in order to get that blissful love, you gotta be also willing to say, I don't care if you leave. I care, but if you leave, you fucking leave. You gotta be willing to understand that. Now, you could be nice about it. You don't have to be a dick about it or a bitch about it. But you have to, in order to be happy, you have to be willing to say, whatever happens, happens. When I fall in love with my next lover, my future husband, because my next lover will damn sure be my future husband, because I'm not fucking nobody unless he motherfucking say we're getting married. Hopefully, God, because I don't want to be celibate. I need some. Anyway. Scatterbrain. I don't want, I want what I want. I want a man that when he comes into my life, I don't want to change him. He don't want to change me. We just like two kids in a sandbox having fun. That's what I want. And if he's somebody that I realize I can't deal with because his ways are different than mine or his personality or whatever, I just move on. Then we move on. Respectfully move on. Not deceitfully, not angrily, not hurtfully. Just respectfully say, this, you act a certain way and it don't mesh with the way I act, and let's just agree to disagree on this one. There's a million motherfuckers out here. I don't buy into the shortage of men bullshit. There's a million motherfuckers out here. Black, white, anything. I happen to prefer black men, but there's a million motherfuckers out here. There's no reason to get stuck on any one person. That's not stuck on you. If somebody's stuck on you, that's different. You get stuck on them and you're stuck, and it's wonderful. Like two dogs getting stuck. It's wonderful. But I'm not gonna fight anything in life. If a boss wants to fire me, well, bitch, fire me. I'm not gonna beg you for this motherfucking job. It's a job. I'm saying, if it was my own business and let's say the government was trying to take it away from me, then I might fight a little bit for what's right. But things I can't control, I'm not gonna fight for it. Now, if I'm fighting for something that, for example, I'll fight for my kids. I'll fight for a loved one that actually needs me to fight for them. But I'm not gonna fight a one-sided battle. in life with anything. And that's what keeps me sane, and that's what keeps me coming back grounded. That's what keeps, well, not even grounded, I'm the opposite of grounded. That's what keeps me up there, being able to look down and say, this really is all a bunch of bullshit. And at the end of the day, I'm not stressing none of this shit. No matter how dramatic you see me carry on, no matter how, you know, animated I might get sometimes, dramatic, animated, it doesn't matter, because when it all said and done, I'm good. Why? Because I remain detached.